Tantra shares a lot with those spiritual traditions which works with breath. In that respect, you can find a lot of similarities in certain shamanic traditions, certainly in certain yogic traditions, like yogic tantra, this is almost like some sister sciences. You cannot even separate them. You don't even know who is who. They're twins. You can find that in a lot of Sufi traditions where the breath is understood to be not just some kind of biological activity here, but the breath has this special significance. Breath really, as far as the Sufis speak about it, your own breath, if you pay attention to it, is what can put you in touch with the Almighty of creation, literally the face of God. The breath in the body is spirit in the body. Breath, even physical breath. There are different dimensions to breath, and we will speak about that too. But breath is that what here creates immediate and direct link to connecting to that aspect of ourselves which otherwise is overrun simply by the activity, incessant, we could say, activity of the mind in conjunction with the senses. So everything is ignited by breath anyway. Breath is inseparable from the life force in the body, but it is taken for granted. We all breathe, but it's taken for granted, let's face it. Our coming into the world as this embodiment literally heralds the moment. It's that moment when we fill our lungs with the first gulp of breath, when we are born. And we depart from this world of forms and phenomena when we breathe our last. So that simple, timeless truth here. Also a reminder is that the body is animated by breath in a sense that it also animates there and then and sets in motion this possibility for consciousness to have the experience of being in the body, enjoying this secret affair of being this individual. It's inseparable. The breath, the activity of the breath is inseparable from that mystery of how consciousness gradually contracts out of its own accord. This is, from this perspective, there is no such thing as how this calamity came, that suddenly I don't know my nature. How comes that I am suddenly not experiencing the infinity of my being? It's only because consciousness itself undergoes this self-imposed contraction, and that is on the account of the breath being in the body. It animates the body and all its structures and all its layers, so that there is sort of this secret affair, as it were. This possibility of enjoying that individual existence can then be savored. So the expansion of consciousness therefore, is understood in exactly the same way, but in reverse. It is through freeing of the breath, or the breath is here, acting as the link where one can experience that utterly expanded state of awareness even whilst in the body. Most of the perennial traditions that kept intact the loftiest aspiration upon which these traditions were found. They have that in common, they share that the noblest purpose of this work, that is often called self-realization, is so that one can enjoy the glory of oneself, not thereafter, not in some kind of another form, not after this body perishes, not in some kind of another much more subtle realm, but here in this very body. And the concept known in Indian spirituality, in Indian philosophy, as liberated whilst alive. Liberated while alive. It's concept of Jivan Mukta. There's this Sanskrit term. Jivan Mukta. Liberated in the body. It's the very purpose of spiritual practice. So the spiritual practice here actually has a goal. It has a goal to be liberated while still in the body. In that, what otherwise a contraction in consciousness.